The battle of the stick foundation. This is my first time actually trying a stick foundation, so let's see how it is. I really stay away from it because it might clog my pores, so let's see if this is something that maybe I should add to my makeup routine, or is something that is not even worth it. So just keep on watching. So the battles of I bought 2 stick foundations, and I'm like, which one should I try first? But I'm like, why not try both of them, even though the shades are very different. But L'Oreal Infallible is one of those makeup that I really love. I love the matte one, and I love the dewy one. I really like them both, and they really look good on my skin. So I feel like this is a good way for me to take a risk, even though I don't use a stick foundation. But why not try it, knowing that I really like how both foundations look on me, but the stick foundation might not be the case. So we'll see. I just want to test it here. And this one just says that it has sunscreen, broad spectrum, SPF 27. It's not much because you really need 50, but if you do apply some type of sunscreen, which is recommended, this could actually help a little bit on your skin. And the shade that I'm going to be using is 407 beige. Natural beige is the shade I'm going to be using from L'Oreal Infallible Longwear Shaping Stick. And the next one I'm going to be trying out is the Makeup Revolution. I just picked this one up, and I'm so excited to try it because I really like the concealer. I like the product, so I'm like, you know what, let me just try the stick foundation. And it's another way for me to try it to see if it's worth it. So the shade I'm going to be trying out is F9. When I swatched it, I saw there's a difference between both of the stick foundations I purchased, but we can make it work. So it's very pretty, and it feels a little bit heavy, and it does say that there's 0.32 ounce here. This one feels a little bit lighter, but I love the packaging. I love the tones. It's just like Makeup Revolution, about 0.11 ounce less, but the prices do vary. But let's see how it works on my skin. So let's just, now once we lift it up, this is how it looks like when you lift up. It looks like a nice shaped lipstick, a more oversized lipstick. This one feels a lot heavier, and it's very sleek as well, and it's easier for me to lift up this one. From the round part, one looks smaller than the other. This one looks a little bit larger. So let's start applying the Makeup Revolution on this section of my face. I'm going to apply some lines. It feels thick as I'm applying it. It feels like I'm applying a very thick concealer. I mean, it feels like if I'm applying a thick moisturizer, sunscreen, and that feeling I don't like. So let's see. And it does, this shade is pretty dark on me. I mean, it's too light, I think. So let's apply this one on this side. This one I think matches me more, and as you can see, it's a big difference. This one feels lighter, but it feels a little bit more oily, if that makes sense. Like, it is light, but it's like if I'm applying coconut oil or something like that. I'm going to use the brush. With the brush, I see that it's blending nicely. It does look pretty nice. I like how it blends. It surprised me because it felt so thick at first when you apply like a thick sunscreen or moisturizer, but it blends really nicely, and I feel like the coverage is pretty good. It does give me like a nice dewy look. So I think for on the go, this will be the perfect way for me to use it. Just apply the stick, and then with the brush, it blends really nice, and it's giving me like this nice glow. So I really like it. So now let's start with the other side. That is a little bit darker, but let's see how it blends on my skin. And you can see how it's showing the pores. Both of them did that when you apply the stick foundation. So let's start. I do like the shades. I mean, it's not so dark. I thought this one was going to be a little bit darker once I apply all those strokes, and this one does look pretty good. This one is giving me like more like a natural look overall. It's funny how I say this one's giving me that natural glow, because it's not so glowy or shiny, or it's so dewy. But this one overall, the way my pores look and those areas that is uneven since I have acne scars, it looks more natural, like this is the part of my face, and this is my skin. Well, versus this one does look a little bit heavier. But it's funny how when I applied this one felt lighter but a little bit more oily, yet I'm getting the nice dewiness on this section. When I applied it felt a little bit heavier, but once I blended it felt pretty nice. They dry pretty good, but I could still feel like it's a little bit tacky, so it hasn't dried or set yet. So what I'm gonna do is apply the rest of my makeup. Hi guys, welcome back. As you can see, I finished the rest of my makeup. Today we're testing out two different stick foundations for the first time for me. My fear of stick foundations that they could be a little bit heavy, especially when you put them. You always see like their pores show a lot more, and I struggle with large pores, so that's something that I don't wanna focus on. I want to stay away from. And these two foundations, I'll show you how they look on me. I noticed that every makeup that I did apply here, it applies so much nicer. I do like how it looked, but I did notice once I was applying the setting powder here, which is the powder that I show you from Too Faced. I really don't bake or anything like that. I started seeing this section here, it started to look kind of like patchy in a sense, like it was kind of like a little bit in, and then a part of it didn't look flawless on me, so I did have to use a little bit of the sponge. I was surprised because the first impression, I really like how it looks. It was giving me that natural look, but the closer I looked after I was going to apply that powder, I didn't like how it looked on me. So that's something that as I applied the sponge, I felt like it did look a little better, but I was surprised about that. And then on this section, it doesn't feel heavy, but once I look at it, it looks like heavy makeup. You could even see how this area looks a little bit more lifted and a little bit more plump, like it's a lot bigger. And also I feel like the concealer, I applied the same amount of concealer, and in here it looks like it's a lot better. Well, here it doesn't look like I have a lot of concealer, so I have to put a little bit of more powder here to kind of like give it that same glow. But I know it's a little bit of two different shades, but I was surprised with the concealer in that sense. If I will choose one versus the other overall from beginning to finish, I will pick the Makeup Revolution. From the concealer to the contour, the blush, even the highlighter, I love how it looks. It's like they were meant to blend together, so I love that. So overall, my first impression on these two, the battle of these two foundation sticks, I like this one, and I was impressed because of the price, but yeah, you do get a little bit less. And you can see I apply as much on each side. I love how it blends, I love how it looks, I love how it blends so nicely with the rest of my makeup, and I love the way it looks. What I'm going to do is show you pictures or a video how my makeup is holding throughout the day, because I might change my mind depending on how the oils are holding, so just keep on watching. I've been wearing these foundations for 9.5 hours, and this is how it looks like after 9.5 hours. No touch-ups, no powder, no blotting, nothing. I have not touched them at all. I want to see how well these foundations hold, especially for me that I have oily skin, and these are the results. So right now I'm just going to give you my input, my overall impression using these two stick foundations. It's the first time I tried them, and I am a little impressed. I am impressed. It's not so bad as I thought it would be. And so you can see a little bit how the foundation looks on this section here. Good, but I feel like they look better on this section. They look better here, and the glow looks good. The creasing is pretty good. Usually this creases a lot more, but it does look pretty good. So it looks. This is Makeup Revolution. I really like how it looks. This is L'Oreal Infallible. I would say both are not bad, and I think if I was wearing this one on its own, I would be really impressed. But at the same time, it doesn't feel heavy, but it does look a little bit heavy now that I compare it with this one. Comparing the two, I really am impressed. I was impressed as soon as I tried it, and during the day I'm impressed how this one looks. I'm gonna end this video this close up. Can you believe that? I think this is the closest I've ever put my camera. And you know what's too, real quick, there's a section. It's funny how I can't spot it now, but sometimes I talk about this in my video, which is a spot that got burned off. It was a very big dark spot there, and the coverage there is really good. That imagine I couldn't even spot it. So the coverage on the L'Oreal is really good. They're both really good. They're both really good. But when it comes to something lighter, this win. When it comes to something looking more natural, this win. But that's what I was going for. But if you look for something a little bit less natural, or you want it to look more coverage and give you that look, then this will be it. So it all depends on what's your take and what's your favorite and what you look for. But for me, I really like, they're both really good, but I really like number one, the Makeup Revolution. So I'm gonna keep it this closed, and I'm gonna say bye, and thank you so much for watching this video, and until the next video, bye.